what we want you to hear from us is that your inner being is always inspiring you to the fulfillment of the well-being that is natural to you. But most of you cannot feel that clearly because, have you noticed that for most, negative emotion feels quite normal? Isn't it normal to feel a little anger or a little frustration or a little fear or a little injustice? In other words, those negative emotions, you have learned to tolerate them and live with them, so they don't serve as the powerful guidance that they were intended. Now, the way you can reignite your awareness of your guidance system is by making some statements of desire. And as you make your statements of desire, and with this process of 17 seconds, 17 seconds, 17 seconds, show yourself what it feels like to be in that place of utter well-being. For example, as you stand in your now, begin in a general place of well-being that you don't have to reach hard to find. In other words, it's a place that you already know. So you would say something like, for the most part, I know that well-being exists upon this planet. If I could chart all of the people who have lived over the last 1,000 years, and somehow make a little tick mark for every hour they lived in wellness. And then I could chart all of the people who have lived over the last 1,000 years, and I could make a little tick mark for any hour that they lived in sickness. As I compare the two, I would discover that well-being is so dominant that not well-being is hardly a ripple in those statistics. As I behold this planet spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets, isn't that remarkable? Aren't you just amazed at the stability of this mass? When I think about the tomato that I eat for lunch today, and I realize that its ancestors have been present on the planet for eons, and somehow, even though my garden sort of comes and goes, the Earth's garden remains constant. In other words, there is never a time when all of the seeds are gone. The seas remain full. The air recycles and remains pure. In other words, the abundance of well-being is remarkable. Isn't it interesting? My own body started out as a little blob that if you looked on a microscope you could not even see. And somehow that cell, those cells, had knowledge within them that attracted life force that creates a human being of perfection. How does it know which will be the liver and which will be the lungs and which will be the tooth? Don't you find that amazing? Even as I lie in my bed at night, isn't it remarkable that I don't consciously keep my blood flowing? That somehow the cells of my body know what they're doing and the life force of well-being flows to them. The well-being is so enormous. Why do I ever seek out some little pocket of someone who, for whatever reason that I cannot begin to understand, has held themselves in a vibration that doesn't allow the well-being? Why would I ever look at that and amplify that and feel that now I must take the same position of pushing against? Well-being abounds. Now, as you listen to us here, your cork floats, doesn't it? In other words, you can feel you are vibrationally up to speed with who you really are. And having spent even that little bit of time, a minute or two or three, feeling the vibration that is in harmony with source energy, now next time you have a thought that's not a vibrational match with the energy of well-being, you're going to feel it. In other words, it will stick out like a sore thumb. As you achieve vibrational harmony with it, then as that is the vibration that you are accustomed to offering, then that's the vibration that is shown to you everywhere you go. You get the sense of it? I want to give you a new phrase. I will set my own tone. I will set my own tone. In other words, if everything is about vibration, then why not feel around until my cork really floats, and stay there 17 seconds, 34 seconds, 51 seconds, 68 seconds, until I'm really in vibrational sync with that high, fast frequency, and then step out into my day. And once I've achieved my connection with my source energy, everywhere I go, I will set the tone. Do you know that one who is connected to core energy is more powerful than 1,000,000 who are not? And so as you set the tone, everywhere you go, you become unaffected by those who are vibrationally different from you. When you are in sync with core energy, because you have set a vibrational tone, that means you only can gravitate to, and things only can gravitate to you that are a vibrational match to the well-being that is the signal that you are offering. Oh, it is so liberating. You see, when you discover it is about setting your tone, now you are liberated. Now you can go anywhere that is a vibrational match to who you really are. Only that which is in vibrational harmony with the well-being that you are now emitting can come to you.